Botswana Live. Welcome to the Tuli Area live stream event, brought to you by Botswana Tourism Organization. Sit back and enjoy. Botswana Live. Botswana Live. Welcome to the Botswana Live virtual tour experience. The Botswana Tourism Organization, BTO, will embark on a marketing and promotional tour themed Botswana Live around Botswana to provide travelers with an experience on insights of Botswana as a tourist destination. This platform is a promotional activity which will enable BTO to showcase product ambience to travelers. The live tour is aimed at promoting tourism growth in Botswana, to promote sustainable tourism products and services, and to increase awareness of the diverse product offering. It has also presented an opportunity to effectively package Botswana with the purpose to capture, inspire, and entice travelers, as well as ensuring the destination's presence on the global space. Botswana Live. Botswana Live.
when we are out on the for a game drive, we most of the times look on side by side of the road or right in the middle of the road, just to check for some tracks, animal tracks. So mostly here we get to see tracks cats when we track in them, because it's hard to see the cats just on a game drive. Because most of the times, yeah, we see them when we track in. Okay, there is two bushy trees here, green trees here. They are different from other trees that we've been passing around. Some of them, they lost their leaves, but these ones, they're still looking green. But there are different types of trees. The one on the left-hand side is a bristlecone, and the one far there is the stinky shepherd tree. Maybe I can just step down the vehicle and pick some of the leaves, so that some of the branches, so that we can able to see how different they are. I guess you can be able to see viewers at home how the leaves looks like. From here, I'll just have to drive a little bit further so that I can pick up a branch from the shepherd tree. So this one is the bristlecone. So the bristlecone, it has got some elongated leaves, and the leaves are very thin. So this tree, it is not evergreen. I think it's only that it is very close to the water point. That is why now it's turning into developing some greenish leaves. That's the bristlecone. Let's drive a little bit forward. Let me just drive a little forward so that I can pick up the shepherd tree leaves to give the comparison. Okay, let me just go and pick up cut a piece of a branch from the smelly shepherd tree. They are totally different. If you look at this one from the smelly shepherd tree, the leaves are very small. They are not that elongated as compared to the one of the bristlecone. So this one, the smelly shepherd tree, it is evergreen. Whether winter season, rainy season, it's evergreen all year round. And I think the reason why this tree is evergreen is because of its small leaves, so it doesn't have a big surface. Trees with broad leaves, they lose a lot of water through the leaf pores or the stomata. So this one, yeah, it does have bigger tree leaves as compared to this one. Is a bit longer. That means there's going to be a lot of evapotranspiration. And this one is called the smelly shepherd tree because when it blossom, when it flowers, those flowers they smell so bad, like a rotten meat. And they bear fruits, greenish fruits, and when they ripe, they become yellowish. And those fruits are very tasty, they're edible. Back in the days, we used to make some shepherd tree fruits juice with those tasty berries. And those berries are eaten by birds. Okay? And the medicinal uses, again, it's interesting about this plant, you know. When you have swollen legs, you know, you just have to debug it. From there, what you do is you boil the bugs. When you boil the bugs, then you put your legs against the steam. By that way, you can get healed after some time. But it's not scientifically proven. But this is how our parents used to do it back in the days. And they're still doing it right now. And sometimes, because of its name, shepherd tree, when you are out there heading your own livestock, you feel that your stomach is now empty, you are starving, you can survive from the roots of this plant. You dig it, and there are some very soft roots that you can pound into porridge. You eat them raw like that. And there is a coffee that can be made out of this tree. You dig out those roots, you roast them. You just pound them, you roast them, and then they turn into coffee. You enjoy your coffee. And it's caffeine free. Very healthy. Thank you. And viewers at home know that it's not only the animals that feeds on the shepherd tree leaves. Even the birds, they do. I've seen many a times when the hornbills feeding on the shepherd tree leaves. More animals. Just by the green patch there. Wow, this is amazing, yeah? Lots of activities here. This is the marsh area where we usually come to check for some animals, because we know that there is plenty of water and it looks green. So the animals will just go one direction and get to drink, and at the same time enjoying the greener pasture. And there's lots of different types of animals here. I get to see zebras, I get to see wildebeest, elephants on the background on the other side of the water point, and plenty of animals here. And you could even see some water birds around here. But now, since the temperatures are a bit higher, it is quite hard to see birds. But probably they could be somewhere in between the the grass. And then we're still going to drive around and check whether we can see some birds around here. So most of the animals, they try to avoid colliding with predators. They choose the time when they know that predators are not there. And this is just an active zone for certain animals like lions, leopards, or even cheetahs, because there are some other plain areas where cheetahs prefer to stay, because they can able to see the prey a distance away, and that will enable them to run without any disturbance, because the plains are open like that. So they have to be vigilant when they come here, check whether the place is safe enough to do so. But know that animals are very clever. They is aware of how to escape from those predators. They always accompany one another. Like you see the wildebeest and zebras here. They complement each other. Like if maybe they got to be attacked by a lion, the wildebeest, they sometimes get to notice that there is a lion through smell, because they have a very good sense of smell if maybe the lion is coming upwind. But even those lions are very clever. Sometimes they just have to go attack the animal from downwind, And the zebras, they do have a very good eyesight. So these are open spaces whereby the zebras could able to see from a distance. Then the wildebeest, then they flee, they run away. And we can just take a minute. If you look around on my right hand side, you could see that some of the trees are dead, as if some of them, it's like they've been knocked down. And that sometimes plenty of water, a lot of water can kill plants. So it has to be, what has to be to the limit, And some of the trees, they got to be knocked down by animals after wallowing in the mud, more especially the elephants, were after wallowing in the mud, because they love that temperatures, cool temperatures of that mud. Then after doing that, they go next to a tree trunk, they rub themselves just to take away some of the ticks. And so by so doing, at some point, they just have to try to test their strength by knocking down that tree, And sometimes that is how animals get to relieve stress. If it's stressed, it's just go next to a tree, it knocks it down. Okay, let's move around. And as you can see, there's a flock of birds coming out from the watering hole. Those little tiny birds. They had some water, now they're going back into the field, into the open spaces to feed. Wow, there's a huge bird straight ahead, 12 o'clock. Let me just use my bino to bring it a little bit closer. It's very important to be well equipped when you go out in the bush. You know, you just have to bring sets of binoculars so that whatever you don't see clearly, you just have to bring it closer so that you can able to identify it. I mean, the birds are sometimes very, very, very unique, and there is a slight thing that can actually make it different, you know. So we pick some of the features like the color of the eyes, the color of the legs, the feathers, and even the size of the bird. That will determine the type of the bird. So let me just try it out. I can't see it properly, but I'll try with my bino here. And sometimes we refer to the books, you know, to check which bird is it if you are not familiar with it. And that looks like a black and white bird. It's huge with a long beak. The eyes, or the color around the eyes, because I cannot see the eyes clearly here. The color around the eyes is reddish, and it has got a yellow patch on top of its beak, on the base of the beak. And it looks like a saddle, and definitely that is a settled billed stock. A settled billed stock. Let me just drive around and look for more birds. We're getting closer to the saddle build stock. Let's hope it's not gonna take off. But sometimes if you get closer, you'll be now entering its comfort zone. By that way, it might fly away. But big birds like the saddle build stock, they are very lazy to fly. And he's enjoying the shade there. So even the zebras and wildebeest are not comfortable with our presence. So sometimes animals, if they're in an open space, if they feel uncomfortable, they will actually run into a dense thickets so that they can confuse whoever is coming to choose the right one to kill. So funny that you cannot, or it can be hard for you to differentiate their sex, even the wildebeest or even the zebras, because they look alike. You see, the wildebeest, both sexes possess horns, but for me, because I'm well aware and used to, I'm a guide, I always be getting to be out in the bush. You know, there's some other features that I can use to tell their sex apart from looking at their genitals. With the wildebeest, the males, they possess thicker base of horns, and the males are massive, and they've got a black patch running from the forehead down to the nose. But females, possess a thin base of horns, and they always have a brownish patch on their foreheads. Wildebeest, zebras, it's a bit complicated because the huge difference would be when you come it from the back. You could tell by looking at the black stripe under the tail. So the male stripe is thin while the female stripe is wider. And sometimes you could tell when a group of zebras are running away. So the males, they usually run at the back so that they can provide safety there, for safety. Like earlier on, I've been talking about the landmarks. This is another landmark here, a heap of rocks here, and those rocks are basalt rocks. So basalt rocks are a result of of volcanic eruption. So when the volcano erupts, there's some what do you call it, the magma. It comes out, and once it reaches the earth
Switch on and switch off.
1 2 1 2.
I redeemed the mic every 2. 1 2 testing.
1 2 1 2.
Switch it off.
Off.
Hey. And then on.
1 2 1 2 testing. Okay.
I'm sure that with a lot of these rock outcrops and with the archaeological history and the cultural history of this place, you must find a lot of pottery and fossils around here from way back.
That's true. That's true. You know, some of these rocks, we go up them when we do the guided safari tour, and we get to see some bits and pieces of pottery. It really shows that it has got cultural history, and the Babirwa, as the inhabitants of this area, you know, they used some of the beads, some of the things like the pottery to actually cook using those potteries, and those are the remainings. Yeah.
Someday we'll come and have an archaeological dig.
Exactly. Yeah.
Looks like you've got quite a lot of birds that nest in that area.
Wow.
You can see some droppings in the rocks.
Is it droppings or it's just paint? Let me just have a look. Okay, I just wanted to get closer so that I can able to see what it is. You know, you actually saw like it was. It is a bird's nest, but when I get closer, it looks different. You know, it does happen. You know, and maybe you should at some time use the binos.
Start eating some carrots.
Or you just have to eat carrots. You know, to actually deal with your eyesight. You know. And it looks like there's some kind of whitish stuff like a paint, but that is not a paint, because we usually see a lot of flocks coming in here. Some of them will go up there to roast, you know, and as they do that, they will drop on top of those rocks and end up, you know, painting them like that with their droppings. Yeah. So the birds' poo always have the whitish stuff, you know. I think it's from what they eat. Yeah. And as you see far left, there's some elephants right by the green stuff. I think where they are, there's some water there, you know. So they usually come here to drink, and know that elephants are water dependent. You know, they drink a lot of water, and they are bulk eaters. You know, like a fully grown elephant will down up to 90 liters of water in a day. And they will eat up to 300 kg of food every day, and very poor digestive system, you know. And they have a wide variety of food, feeding from the tree leaves, fruits, twigs, barks, roots, tubers, bulbs, and even grass. And sometimes during rainy seasons,
when you zoom, bring them as close as possible to the viewer. You can imagine when you are watching them from, it looks like a little dot. Whatever.
Okay, I think we can like a
face.
And what do you think, Dawson? This is a perfect spot for bird watching, huh?
Yeah, this is good for birds, huh?
Yeah, you could see the... Get out. This is the best you could do. You know, like when you approach birds, usually when you do bedding, we have a hide that birds cannot notice you. That is very closer to the watering hole. But when you are on a vehicle doing the safari tour, those are the possibilities that you're going to see some of the animals a distance away, and more especially birds. And they're very tiny. So yeah. There's quite a lot of birds there. There's a black and white bird with some red legs, and it's making a call, some squeaking call. That is a blacksmith. Actually, the stilt. And there are some ducks next to it. Can you able to see the ducks, Dawson?
Yeah.
Can you identify them?
Yeah, I think these are teals
Oh,
on the next to the stilt.
all right.
Yeah. And then you've got some red-billed ducks sort of in the middle there.
Mm-hmm.
And then a juvenile black-winged stilt just about 12 o'clock somewhere here.
All right.
Yeah.
Lots of activities here, and on the background I could see elephants. It's quite a lot.
Oh, check. There's another one here. See that?
I think that is the. It looks black and white with the black legs. That is the black Smith plover, or the black Smith lapwing. The black Smith lapwing is the current name. It used to be the called the black Smith plover, but it's now the black Smith lapwing. So right on top of the tree there, I could see a bird nest. So I'm using the binos to actually check which bird it's nesting there. But I'll just have to drive a little bit closer to the tree so that we can able to identify the bird properly. Okay, I think this is the closest we can get, and let me just check what's in there.
Yeah, you can now see we're closer to the teals and the stilt.
And I think this black the stilt it's uncomfortable. Maybe that's why it's making that call. It shows that maybe we are getting closer to it, or maybe we're getting closer to its nest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's possible. Huh?
Yeah. So the nest I've been talking about, it's very close now, but this is the closest we can get to the nest, because down there it's a bit bumpy, so the land is uneven. We can't make it to the tree, and it's muddy there, so it looks exactly the African fish eagle nest, because the African fish eagle nest is just a dirty platform of twigs, and it brings some other additional items of some pieces of strings, you know. As you can see that there's some red colors of things like strings there, and some plants roots or the grass roots, and usually the fish eagle makes a very fine smooth nest on top, you know. When now after the egg hatches, you know, it will just look whether the chicks are old enough to be forced to move out from the nest. So whenever they are ready, the mother eagle will just pull out those nice lining of feathers, so that the nest can be thorny, and then by that way it will force the chicks to start learning how to fly, because they are now not in a comfortable zone. So that's how nature it is, you know. It's amazing, doesn't?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, definitely, man.
Yeah.
And that's quite a big nest too. Wow. Fish eagles are big birds, right?
Huge, yeah. They look big. Mm. Okay.
That one.
The African jacana flying away.
Three now.
Yeah. Let's have a look. They are huge, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty big. I'm not quite sure which birds, but they look like the juvenile marabous. Not quite sure. Maybe I should check in my book to confirm. Let me just have a look. Water birds.
Juvenile.
It's really nice. They give me exactly how many
Ma?
The one that's going to be done
Emma.
will be the last one now that I'm going to send to PS.
Okay.
So if you have to make any good, make good, please make them good in that one.
Okay. Emma.
And then someday I'll go like to the Alamon. Halana Cook.
Yeah, we have
The juvenile woolies.
Juvenile needs.
We'll level the heads.
The juvenile?
We'll level the heads, I think.
The chest to be covered.
The main head high bald.
All of them.
Yeah.
Because any movement, we try and minimize movement, except him. But if he has to move, then still he's also going to press a bit of movement. You are like a person. Titi,
Ma?
when he's already taking pictures, when the camera is rolling, any movement the camera will pick.
Yeah.
Nikili a country for you can then go back to the person. No man, I'm happy. Unless I want to sound there, I couldn't meet you because I could hear people, somebody was giving coffee. I could hear what happened to you, and I'm saying we are alive. Please try to meet you when we are Amazon. But you start practicing at the next shoot, which is starting at
Could be what?
and 10 Okay. So I was similar and then come around. Okay.
Can you get me a shot of that zoomed in? Like the
How
closest.
do you like it, Titi? Do you like it with those?
In the picture.
Okay.
Even when we rap can be.
Hey, go for Mahal and do the close.
Correct. One of that woolly neck. This and that. Connect. First year birds more feathered on the head. First year more feathered on the head.
Yeah.
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 Fine. But when I me like 5 minutes,
Oh.
tsora no camera e tona e ka se ka operate go sona o gate e batla e megala
It's a fiber cable. No, we have them. You are able to connect it. But the problematic thing is that it is a very, very delicate cable.
Can I ask a question? Do we have to run that? That cable is going to follow Harry.
What we did, Harira, the first live stream, we set up the camera there and it was pointing this side. Yeah. So you are able to zoom in on activity, so you are able to switch in between the two cameras.
What I'm asking you, how am I the cable that
it needs to be connected to that place continuously with the cable.
The cable that are they connected to something that's stationary there?
Yes.
What are they connected to?
To the control room.
To the control room.
Yes.
So the control room cannot be mobile.
Could you settle down?
We're running cables all the way through the.
Even the wing patterns.
The issue is
I want a solution.
they can.
Can juvenile settle
I want a solution also.
Shit.
When you know
Could you juvenile settle those?
I don't want us to compromise.
It's another okay.
I don't want you to compromise or go that more.
That's one. Even on the leg tufts. It's a the adult, it's a man.
Mr. Titi,
No?
what's the closest you could get to the elephants?
Yeah, the elephants you can get closer.
You can get closer. Okay, this is my last one from me, right? Much as you know, if you are not close to the birds, there's how when you say and it really is pointless then. It really is pointless because you are talking about a bird that cannot be seen because camera can only zoom up to a certain point. So he's really
it takes time to focus. But once it's focused, then it's clear. But it looks like something nice, but even that one will really struggle, the biggest camera, to show it because it's relatively far. So you need to fiddle with the controls to bring them into focus. And because you are focused on that, the moment you move on to the next object, then you need to refocus and stuff.
Hey,
so you always have that second thing where it's like in and out. But it has to be like just 2 seconds and then you focus again.
Hey, what I was going to suggest is as well is, how we with the camera, can we, as we are driving, he doesn't have to stop. He just says, "Oh, a black wing still there, but it took off," as we are driving, and not necessarily having the camera have to focus on it.
Yes.
Or does the camera always have to show the subject that is being spoken about?
If you say what you were saying in the opening about birds, this place being a paradise for birds, and then you don't see it in physical form, but you just hear about it. So that it's false advertising.
But then I just say, if you ask a question about a bird, and Mr. Tato will say, no, I'm not sure what it is, but I need to go and get a book. Then it becomes a problem in terms of you're asking the questions. But we need to be able to know what exactly would you be able to ask, and what is ready and available at hand as the answer to that question.
Okay. A problem as in the guide not knowing the bird.
No. That then he has to figure out, or yes, how do I? It's the same thing if you just ask him a question, who's the president of this country, and they say, I'm not sure. Then you'll have an awkward moment where you are saying, yes, let me go find out.
Okay, but in the, and we can change it, Mr. Mokwe, but in the guiding world, you can't know every single one of the species out there, right? So it is allowed for you to check. It's something that is practiced across. You are able to, you are allowed to consult your books and you carry them with you in the car. No, we're 9 minutes ahead of the hour.
What does that mean?
We were over by 9 minutes.
Oh.
Hey.
Yeah, man.
I don't get a call. It's on good.
Botswana Live. Thank you for watching. Catch the next live stream event on Botswana Live. Botswana Live.